Hey everybody, Rick Steele Customs coming at you with another video, this time about seat belts, airbag type seat belts. I'm going to show you how to remove them from, well, at least this particular vehicle is a 2007 Honda Accord, but this should apply pretty much across the board from about 2000 on up. Anyway, to start with, what we need to do is remove the outer plastic pieces, which will be this piece, side cover, and then over here, and the door's shut on me, it's windy here today, stay open. And that door's not going to cooperate unless I stick something in the crack. Okay, if we lift up on this trim here, okay, this has got a tab like this. So you want to pull it down and then it'll come right out. And then this side has a little tab right here. So you pull this one up and it'll come out of that and release it. Okay, now on this piece here, this outer plastic cover, or at least it's plastic in this car, some people might have the cloth covered one, you just have to pull it out as well. You know, there's just little plastic pins. You know, you don't want to pull this top portion up too hard because you could damage the headliner. Once you've released the pin, which is right there, that orangish pink looking thing, you have to pull this piece down. Like so. You pull it down and you're not going to damage the headliner. So that's very important right there. Okay, now you need to get this piece off the pillar. And in order to do that, you have to squeeze right here and then pry up right here. So just take a pry bar or screwdriver, or in this case I'm using a 5-in-1 tool. Pull the thing up and squeeze these pins together and then release. Then undo this nut. Once you take off that bolt, this piece will come right off. And let me know if you guys have a preference. These are just regular hard plastic without any kind of cloth. The one I got from the junkyard is cloth covered. You can see it wraps around right here. But it's got some stains and marks, so I'm not going to use them. I'm going to stick with the original plastic pieces because these are extremely clean. And to clean them, if they do get a stain, you just shoot some Windex on them and be as good as new. Okay, now as for this piece, you do not have to remove it. But if you wanted to remove it for whatever reason, it's just one nut here, or rather bolt, and a bolt right here. In order to access it, just slide the thing up and down and you can access it. Okay, so now the next step is you have to remove the airbag seat belt, which is really easy. All you do is you squeeze and pull. Nothing to it. And what you're squeezing and pulling is this piece right here. It's a spring-loaded mechanism, so it just locks. Okay. Now I'll tell you right now that the airbags I'm going to be installing are not the same. I pulled them from a 2003 Honda Accord. It's the exact same body and everything, but they altered the design of the seatbelt. And more than likely, even if I sent out the seatbelt control module to be reprogrammed, it wouldn't work with the replacement seatbelts from the 03 Accord. But I really don't care about airbags. I have over 1 million miles driving experience, driving 18-wheelers across the country. Never been in an accident that was my fault. Driving cars, I've never been in an accident that was my fault. So, and I drive extremely careful. And even if I did get into an accident, the odds are I'd get into an accident with one of these modern day type rice burners anyway. And it's hard to get into a fatal accident that way. You get hit by another light car like this. But anyway, I digress. Let's get back to the operation at hand. So now all we have is 2 more bolts, 10 millimeter up here, and I'll show you the difference in just a second as soon as I get this off, so you can see what's the difference between the 03 and the 07. Let me know what you guys think about what's going on in Israel right now. My opinion is that it's absolutely horrible, and I'm 100% pro-Israel. The Palestinian people are actually, well, first of all, the Palestinian, there's no such thing as a Palestinian, they're just Arabs. And they are occupying the land of Israel. They've been occupying the land of Israel since the diaspora, and the diaspora took place back in the year 70 AD, when the emperor, or the Roman general Titus, surrounded Israel and essentially starved the Jews out. And in any case, I'm digressing again, but the Jews have been trying to live in peace with these people for, well, ever since basically the time of Abraham. Abraham had 2 sons, Ishmael and Isaac. Isaac was his favorite, so he wanted to give Isaac everything, so he separated, or he sent away rather, his son Ishmael with his Egyptian wife. His Egyptian wife, and which was the mother of Ishmael. But again, I should just make a separate video on this. But these people are animals. They're chopping off babies' heads. Israel never goes in and attacks Palestine or the Palestinian people. Never. They always do it as a retaliatory strike for the atrocities committed by the Palestinians. Okay, another difference is with this 03 setup compared to the 07 setup. So the 07 setup has this end of the seat belt connected to the actual seat. That shouldn't make any difference whatsoever. The driver's side is exactly the same setup. I don't know why they moved it from the floor mounting position to the seat mounting position. But basically all I got to do is bolt this right here. I may have to utilize the bolt from this end, which is no big deal. But they even removed, well, they still have the provision for the bolt. There actually it might even be underneath here. You know what? Yep, it's right there. So all I got to do is cut a hole in the carpet, and then I can go ahead and attach it right back there. So anyway, I don't know if you guys are or who's watching is a Christian or not, but as a Christian, we're supposed to pray for the peace of Israel. The Bible's very clear. It says, I will bless those who bless you, and I will curse those who curse you. Even the Quran says that God gave the land of Israel to the Jewish people. And the Bible actually shows the deed to the land, which Israel is supposed to go from the Nile River in Egypt all the way up to the Tigris River in Iraq. That's how large Israel is supposed to be. And God said that he would give them the land for an everlasting covenant and that they should never be removed from the land again. But after the Roman general Titus surrounded the city of Jerusalem, he chased out and starved out anybody that was there. He wouldn't allow any food to be taken into the city, so many of the people, well, actually most of them, starved to death. And then the diaspora means disbursement. So the Jews left their homeland and went across the entire globe. And in 1948, I think it was May 16th, 1948, Israel was once again recognized as a Jewish state. And 1967, during the Six-Day War, they took over the city of Jerusalem, and was recognized also as a nation again. And the Bible, I think it's in the book of Daniel, where it talks about dead bones, a valley of dead bones. God commands them to preach to the dead bones, and the bones come back together. And the nation was born in a day. But anyway, yeah, there's no such thing as Palestinians. The name Palestine, came because of that same Roman Emperor Titus changed the name of Israel to Palestine because he hated the Jews. But after the diaspora occurred, the Arabs decided to move into that land, and they've been there pretty much ever since. But it's like if I go off to war and I come back to my house and find another family living in it, and they claimed it as their own, and that's exactly what happened. I mean, the land of Israel is the Jewish land. It's their homeland. It belongs to them. And anybody who wants to disagree with me, all you got to do is read the Bible. You're disagreeing with God. And apparently, the Muslims haven't read their own scripture, the Quran. Okay, apparently they want to make it extra hard to take an older part from a newer and put it into a newer vehicle. Okay, this nut is the same, but up here, this little 10 mil that I took out is offset. So in order for me to install this, I have to drill a hole right here. And then I can install that. But anyway, getting back to my story about the Israel. Okay, the Quran says, and it's called Surah. Surah means chapter. 5:20, verse 21. Well, 20 and 21. That Allah gave the Holy Land of Israel to the Jews. How is it Muslims don't understand this or know this? I don't know. But it says, and remember when the Jew Moses said to his people, O my people, remember Allah's favor upon you when he raised prophets from among you, made you sovereign, and gave you what he had never given anyone in the world. O my people, enter the land which Allah has destined for you to enter, and do not turn back, or else you will become a loser. So it's really the Palestinians that are the occupiers, not the Jews. The Quran also says that God gave the Torah to the Jews, which the Jews like to call the Torah. And it has recorded the deed of the Jewish land, recorded in Genesis 15, verse 18. On that day the Lord made a covenant with Abraham, saying, to your descendants, I give this land, from the river of Egypt as far as the great river, the Euphrates. And the Bible also says in Amos, chapter 9, verse 15, and I will plant them upon their land, and they shall no more be pulled up out of their land which I gave them, saith the Lord God. You know, well, one thing that'll also help determine which God is real and which God is a false God is if Muhammad was a real prophet and the Islamic Muslim God is real, the Palestinians will win. If the God of Israel is the one true God, Israel will win. How can any nation lose with God on their side? Answer is they can't. So that's my feelings on what is going on in the land of Israel right now with these bloodthirsty Palestinians. And yes, lives are being lost on both sides. But again, this war never would have happened. There would be no loss on either side had Palestinians not decided to throw the first stone. They flew in, they killed, and they raped, and they murdered babies, chopping babies' heads off. Who does that? What kind of animal would do something so horrific? You're never going to hear stories of Jews going in, chopping off Palestinians' heads. Yeah, they get killed in the bombings because Palestinians are cowards and they hide They hide under on the first floor of civilian hospitals, and they also use human shields, including the 100 or so victims that they took hostages. They're using them as human bargaining chips also, threatening to chop off their heads if Israel defends themselves. I live in El Paso, Texas. If Juarez, Mexico started lobbing missiles into the United States, killing innocent Texans, I'd be down on the border myself with my own guns defending my country. If the United States government didn't go ahead and defend us, which with Joe Biden, he only likes to defend the border of the Ukraine. He doesn't care about defending our southern border. We have had over 6 million illegal crossings coming into this country since he's been president. We have had over 1.7 million gotaways. That means we have no idea who these people are. Many of these people are, without a doubt, Islamic terrorists. And I have no doubt that very soon they are going to do a horrific attack here in the United States. Maybe not as bad as what they were capable of doing on September 11th, 2001, but more something like along the lines of what they did in Libya on September 11th, 2012. If you have the ability to carry a gun, if you live in a free state, red state, I suggest you start carrying a gun. And the moment you hear somebody shouting Allahu Akbar, get your hand on that gun, get ready to defend yourself and your family. Because that just might be the last thing you hear. Allahu Akbar. You don't want to hear that. And, by the way, in case any of you don't know what that means, it means God is great. If the Muslim God is so great, and he hates the infidel like the Quran says kill the infidel wherever you will find him. The infidel means unbeliever. If God wants us dead, why doesn't he just kill us himself? Is the Muslim God so weak and pathetic that he can't kill those who he wants dead? Think about it, people. But anyway, again, I digress. Apologize for that. This is going to be a little bit longer video than I anticipated. But installation of this belt is a simple reverse order. Make sure that you do not have it tangled up. And come on, Bill. Anyway, I'm going to put this phone away. I'm going to finish this video. Apologize if I offended anybody, but this has been bugging me since I saw what's going on. Anyway, God says always to pray for the peace of Israel. If World War III is going to start, it could start any day. It's a shame. Everything was so much better under Trump. There were no new wars. There was actual peace in the Middle East with the Abraham Accords. And now we're even being threatened by Iraq because they know we have such a pathetic, inept president. Or as I like to call him, Mr. Dementia Joe Biden. All the guy does is lie. That's all he did during the presidential debates. My son doesn't make money in China. Yeah, well, we all know that's a lie now. He doesn't make money in the Ukraine. We all know that's a lie now. Hunter Biden was getting paid $86,000 a month from Burisma Holdings, an oil company. Hunter Biden knows nothing about oil or energy. They were paying him $86,000 a month and he didn't have to show up. But, oh, nothing suspicious about that, right? He took $3 million from the mayor of Moscow's wife. What was that for? Hunter Biden's a crackhead. He doesn't know anything that could help the mayor of Moscow's wife. He was selling influence. And now he's selling paintings for $500,000 each that are crappy paintings. He wouldn't be selling those if he wasn't selling access to his father. Biden is so compromised, it's unbelievable. Trump tried to warn us during the debates, but the moderator wouldn't let him talk, Just shut him down. Let's go on to the next question. Nothing to see here, folks. But anyway, again, I apologize. I shouldn't be talking political right now. This is about cars. But maybe I'll start another channel, or maybe I'll just add on to this channel political content. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. If you got anything out of this video, I'd appreciate a thumbs up. Subscribe and hit the bell icon. I'm going to be putting this whole car back together, getting it back on the road, and you can come along for the ride. Anyway, Rick Steele Customs out.